Good evening. Welcome to Fortune's Hiding Down Under TV. Nathan's back. How are you, Nath?
Really good, mate. Really good.
Yeah.
How are you boys?
All right. Are you getting over the jet lag, or are you struggling, or what?
Oh, I'm not. I'm okay, but just say I've got medicinal help.
Medicating.
Yeah, that's my excuse as well.
Jeez,
Look at you both. I need a drink now,
teetotaler
don't I?
tonight.
Yeah, most nights, mate, at the moment. But yeah,
Good
no.
for you. Now, after I got abused by your brother, I thought, fuck him. I should have one or two every now and again.
Oh, we all got abused. How are you doing, Dave? Are you all right?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Good. I'm hoping for a turn in fortunes for West Ham this week and get a long-awaited home win on the board, eh?
Well, we'll get straight into it. I think that is the fucking. I mean, it's certainly my thought, and I'm sure Nath, it's yours. We've simply got to win this weekend, haven't we?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think there's any two ways about it. We've got to get 3 points.
Yeah, we definitely.
And they
need
look quite plucky, don't they? Nathan mentioned the other day when we were talking online that they were matching Villa every bit of the way, and were unlucky not to win.
Yeah, especially in their second half, like they were just like they had Villa on the ropes, and they're just confident on the ball, happy to knock it about, creating chances. Definitely not what Brentford were doing, that's for sure. So
yeah,
it's going to be a tougher game, I think, especially with the way that our cohesion is as a team. At present, I think it's going to be. But I mean, what West Ham's like. Whenever we've been on the ropes, we've probably come out and turned out our best fucking performance. So,
yeah. I was just looking at their results before we came on air. The first two they lost were against Liverpool and City. So you fucking read nothing into that. And then they've drawn 4 in a row. To go 4 unbeaten in this league is hard work. We don't do it very often.
No.
So they've obviously got something about them, and we're all sort of banking on getting 3 points.
Yeah.
And the closer the game gets, the more I'm thinking, is this? Are we being a bit fucking silly in our optimism? Not that we're not capable of doing it, because like you said, Nate, we could quite easily turn up and win 4-0 on Saturday. But it's not a formality, is it?
It's not, and for me, it's not really about optimism. It's more about the fact that we have to win this. Like, we have gone 3 games at home and lost them all. Villa, okay, Chelsea and Man City, they're not easy games, but I think the excuses have run out, and I don't really care what's in front of us. We've got to put in a performance that is a winning performance and get some points on the board. From what I can see, Ipswich aren't the worst team in the league, so it's not easy. But then, let's be honest, the next 17 home games aren't going to be easy. There is not an easy game.
I think this is definitely the first home game though that we've had where there isn't the excuse of just going, we're playing a top 4 side, or it's Man City. What do you expect? Or Chelsea have got it in their kit bag. They just haven't shown it. Like, this is the first one where you're going, well, there is no excuses. If you look at us on paper compared to them, we've got a better squad. We've got more creative players. Like, they've picked up players that we didn't fucking want, in Calvin Phillips, and Johnson's probably another story. He didn't want us more than we didn't want him. But you know what I mean? Like, we should be fucking nailing this.
Are they starting for them at the moment?
Phillips was, he got subbed around the 60 or 70 minute mark, but I don't think Johnson has had a start yet, or he didn't, at least against Villa. So
Phillips has been playing. And look, I agree with everything you said there, Dave, but I think we are forgetting that they are fucking 6-toed, 2-headed fucking inbred fuckers that we should be fucking putting to bed every day of the week. But the way that we're playing, it doesn't. We're not going in there with full of optimism. Look, there is a couple of comments, so I'll flag a few up. This is from our own channel, so it must be the one of us who isn't on it. Kingy, mate, hope you well. more chance of nicking their tractor than 3 points. Yeah, fuck. Look, I don't know whether you're completely serious there.
I don't think it is.
Nah, we've got a chance, haven't we? But it's not going to be easy.
I think we do. You know, like it's one thing that like I noticed, especially at the away day at Brentford last week, is just there's so much frustration between fans and players at the moment. For whatever reason, you can see the change in style, but it's difficult to see what the end result is. Like they've obviously got someone else there now that's telling them to do different things, but you seem to have a lot of people that have got certain ideas on how to do that, and others that are just going, well, I'll do it my way and see what happens. So just need something to click, or someone to just go, all right, I'll try and do what they're saying, or something they understand it in a different manner for it to actually click. And then I'm sure that once it'll happen, you know, we could go and bang in a good 3-0 result or something like that. But
all right. Look, there's a comment here from George Crowell. Evening, George. Thanks for watching. He said, "Don't worry, potato salad will save us again." Now, I was going to ask you, what was the consensus like in the crowd towards Souček at the weekend?
I think it was all right. Like it's hard to like most people you talk to. It's hard to argue that he's not going to put a shift in and he won't do something. Like he wasn't, especially against Brentford. Like he didn't do a lot wrong. And if you watch his movement in the box when we score, like he's always moving, if that makes sense. Like he started his run was at the top of the box, and then as the ball got knocked around him, he just kept edging a little bit closer and closer towards the box, and then all of a sudden he was in front of his defender on the right side of where the ball was. So I think people respected a fair bit. There was a lot more animosity, if you want to call it that, towards Antonio. And especially towards Paquetá when he was like coming off the pitch, you know, like everyone could see that we were sort of running out of time, and yet he was sort of, you know, strolling off and wasting time, sort of thing. You think, well, mate, where's your sense of understanding around what we're all trying to do here? That was a bit frustrating. Yeah, there was moments there where, you know, I think it took nearly 10 minutes from when people, like you saw the subs warming up, and Antonio obviously knew he was coming off. But then at one stage, someone put a ball in over the top, and he looked like he could have chased it down, and he didn't even go for it. And that just sent everyone raging.
Yeah. Understandable as well. And look, I don't like hearing that about Antonio. I think he deserves better than that, regardless of people's frustrations. But it probably poses the question of, you know, knowing what apparently has happened at the weekend with Curtis and a bit of angst in the dressing room, which I personally think is not anything that we need to be concerned about. It's just a bit of fucking passion. But J-Lo's not afraid to haul people off. Paquetá's annoying the shit out of everyone. What are we thinking about how we fucking start the game on Saturday?
Well, you just touched on Curtis, right, and that brought. I think we'll probably find out how serious it is, depending on whether it's in that starting 11 on the weekend. I think if he's dropped, I think that's sort of. I think it would be silly to drop him.
That's a problem. Yeah.
If you want to send out a message that there's not a problem here, you do start him. But I will be very concerned if he doesn't. If he's not in the starting lineup on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you boys have heard, but I noticed something earlier on today from X that Fulkrug is not going to be in the side.
Out.
They reckon he's still injured. So, you know, J-Lo's hand might be forced a little bit there. If anything, like I think he'll probably start again, but I just want to see him put Kudus in a position that suits him, right? And it suits the club. Is going to the middle, you know, like whether he plays Paquetá and Kudus in two roles with one holding midfielder, or he plays one of them is a 9, one of them is a 10. Hard to drop Souček after his efforts, so maybe it means Alvarez comes in for Rodriguez. And then, like, if you watch Somerville, like, every performance he's put in, especially the last 3, even as he came on at half time, he's been phenomenal. Like, you can't question his effort and endeavour and desire to bring other players into the game. But
I was shocked.
That saying again, I wouldn't be surprised to see fucking Kuda stuck out on the left again and Somerville on the bench. So
yeah, I was really shocked that Somerville didn't start. He's been great in every performance lately, and I really thought that he was a dead cert to start the game.
I think he's got to now, hasn't he?
Sure. Well, apparently he was, but I don't know what happened, because originally I saw a lineup that had him and Soler in the lineup, and then it all changed at the last minute to have who came into it? I think Souček came in for Soler, and I think Antonio came in the middle, and then Kudus and Bowen swapped sides.
And Somerville was left out.
Where did you see that initial lineup, mate?
That was from it was from X. So that was about, I don't know, half an hour before the team sheet came out, and we were sharing it.
Yeah, I think
that's not so bad. We're happy with that. And then these 2 last minute changes came in.
And then I was excited, and then the actual team sheet came out with fucking Souček and Antonio.
Yeah, one thing I was really excited about though was to see Todibo play and get a start. And I personally thought I held his own. I heard a few people getting upset with him for the goal, but I actually rewatched it again today, and I don't know if you boys have done it, but if you watch the run, was it Mabema or whatever his name is? He's sort of running into the box. You've got, at the time, Rodriguez and Paquetá are basically sitting central with each other. Paquetá drifts out, he comes in, and Rodriguez goes to the ball where we already had a 2v1. So it was just an absolute fuck up. And I mean, you could blame Paquetá or you could blame Rodriguez, because they both just left that central area free, and bang, it was a cracking goal, absolute cracking.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how much they could blame Todibo for.
I said on Monday, and we talked about the goal, and that there'd been a bit of blame laid at his door, and I didn't see it at all. I thought he played well. Definitely
our player of the match, didn't he? From our sponsors,
really?
I think you got our sponsors player of the match.
Yeah.
So I thought you had a decent game. As far as the goal was concerned, it was a good goal. I mean, he still had everything to do to smash it in the way he did.
King has come back here and said no, he's not joking. If we nick their combine harvester and the 3 points.
Fuck, if we nick both of them, we could probably afford another player as well.
Well, we could, but we wouldn't spend it, would we?
Not in the right areas.
Morning, lads. Good morning. Thanks for watching, as always. Hope everything's all right over there. Looking forward to another fucking scintillating game of football at the weekend. But look, I genuinely don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's going to do this weekend. Who he's going to play, how he's going to play it. I just hope that we look like more of a team than we have done so far. And this will be the 7th game of the season now. I was trying to explain to someone at work today. He was asking. I said it's almost felt like fucking pre-season games where you just throwing people on the pitch, trying to see what works, and taking people off after 40 minutes or whatever he did against fucking, was it Chelsea? Yeah. Where you think, well, all right, you need to find out what's going on, but you've also got to look at the fucking score and the table as well. So I hope that this is the game that it starts to click together. But I just don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what that looks like at all.
No, I'm pretty sure there's about a squad of 25 players who don't know what it fucking looks like either. But you're just hoping sooner or later they get their crayons out and start.
But that's not to say that we won't win the game. Right.
No. It's interesting, really, because when you look at some of the, I guess the differences in the styles that JLo is trying to implement, that it's very opposite to what Moyes used to do, right? Some of the great successes that we had over the Moyes era were allowing space for Kudus and Bowen and Antonio just to run into, and now we're trying to carry the ball further and further up the pitch, so they don't really have that. And, the one thing I keep watching, especially with Kudus, is he really thrives when he's got somebody one-on-one, or even in a 2v1, he's that fucking good. But he's starting to get himself into situations where it's a 3 or 4v1, and then all of a sudden he's he runs out of ideas. So I wonder whether or not that's what JLo is trying to say to him, is like, beat the player, find someone who you can combine with, and then get beyond. So
I tuned out the last couple of seconds of what you were talking about there, because I was thinking there's two ways of taking this comment from Damien, and I don't know, like, it's not summer, so surely he's not saying that he looks fucking hot from a temperature perspective. There might be a bit of man love going on here.
I was sitting there watching and just going, fuck, he does look a bit sweaty. I was trying to hold on to what I was saying.
We all know what he means, lads. We all know what he means.
Just dead fucking sexy, aren't you, Dave?
You do look beautiful, Dave. You really do. It's the hair. You must have a good barber.
It's a bit wild tonight. It's getting a bit fluffy.
Don't be saying that. You'll be turning Damien on.
Damien's turned on already, judging by the comments.
Just to confirm, it was 100% man love. And then look back to the football. He said it'll take time to adapt from Moyes. Just the thing. Look, I am torn between not getting disappointed and not getting frustrated, because it is going to take time. If you're thinking about a new manager coming in, new bunch of players, you really want to allow them a year, 18 months, 2 years before you're really judging them. But no one's got that fucking patience, have they? No, really?
Not for a manager.
You've got to do it within 3 to 6 months, and at least show signs of progression. I think from where we're at, we will be very capable of showing those signs. But we need to start seeing something soon, I think. If we don't get anything at the week, or not if we don't get anything, but even if we win and it's a fucking shit lucky 1-0 win or something, it's great from the points perspective, but it ain't going to fucking satisfy anyone.
No, you don't want another Bournemouth on your hands, do you, from the cup? Like, that was fucking utter dross to watch. And, there we went. So, but in the same regard, right? Like, you look at what Slot's doing over at Liverpool. Like, he's come in and he hasn't really tried to implement too much, has he? He's just sort of gone, right, well, you boys know how to play. I suppose our scenario is a little bit different to that, because even in a low block, we're still conceding 4 and 5. So, when you do that style of play, you're supposed to be defensively solid. And we were fucking leakier than a sieve, weren't we?
Yeah. Matt and I were saying on Monday, right? But we've got the defence playing a risky higher line.
Yeah.
We don't seem to be doing the pressing well. So it's like we're kind of caught in the middle. So we're almost in the worst of both worlds at the moment. I can't really. I want to see him turn it around, and and it'd be really interesting to see, if he can dig something out this weekend. But we're seeing, Buck just said here, morning lads, this game a 6-pointer. Absolutely, it is. It really is right now. It's really important to get points on the board. I know what you just said about not wanting to see a scrappy one. At the moment, given the results aren't overly coming, I'd take that.
Look, I think it is a 6-pointer, and I don't think that's got anything to do with Ipswich. It's not a 6-pointer from the perspective of the old relegation battle where you're taking points off the other team. To us, this game is worth winning. It is worth more than the fucking the standard 3 points, because we get the 3 points, we're still, we're mid-table-ish. If we don't get 3 points and we go to the Yids and we get fucking spanked, which is very likely, then suddenly we're 8-9 games in and we're on fucking 5 points.
Yeah. What side of the is there an international break after this week, or is it one more week?
We've got the Tractor Boys, and then international break, and then we've got the Yids.
Yeah. So, and I agree with that. I was thinking if it is either way, but if it's an international break, like fuck, it's a long time for fucking to wait until your next game, isn't it? If you don't get anything out of this for the supporters and the players.
Yeah.
So,
Damien's asked a question. Didn't we get fucked by Brentford like 5-0 last season? I honestly can't remember all the teams that scored 5 against us last season.
There was a few, wasn't there?
So it's very, very possible.
Didn't we scrap a draw?
No, we had that topsy-turvy game where Bowen...
We lost 3-2, didn't we?
Yeah. Could have scored that scissor kick, didn't he?
I think that's when my love of Mavropanos started, when he fucking scored the winner for him.
I know we definitely we got a result against them last year, because that was the first time we've got something from them since they've been up in the Premier.
I think we might have had a draw before. I might be wrong, but not away from home. Not away.
No, not away. We beat him in the cup away from home.
That's right. Yeah. Ben Rama scored, didn't
he? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't want to fucking celebrate afterwards because he's one of them players.
Yeah. Well, look where he is now.
Yeah.
Another question from Damien. Would you prefer the supposed West Ham way, which is getting fucking spanked by 5 goals, or the Moyes way, which is also getting spanked by 5 goals?
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't know. It's a tough choice, isn't it?
Well, I'd rather play the West Ham way and try and score and get spanked 5-0 than sit back and just allow people to penetrate your arsehole and get done 5-0.
Oh, man. It's good fun, though, isn't it?
I want to see some home form and a bit of resilience is what I want to see at the moment. And that seems to be what's totally lacking at the moment. I think we touched on it Monday, Matt, that we had years before Moyes of playing at the London Stadium and it not really feeling like a home ground.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that feeling, like our home ground can't be a fortress again.
Yeah. That's one thing you do have to give him a bit of credit for, because he we got touched up a few times, but we were a bit of a force to be reckoned with at the London Stadium, weren't we?
It gave us some resilience at home.
And it was good. Right, yeah. Kingy's asked a question here, which is a pretty good one. Kudus or J-Lo? Who you got? I'll throw my fucking opinion in first of all. I think we all hope that it doesn't come to that, and that this is just pie in the sky talk, hypothetically. If there was a genuine issue and it was a case of one of them, for me, we'd have to fuck Kudus off, and that is because I think you've got to maintain an authority within the team, within the dressing room, and J-Lo's been there for 2 months. You can't be fucking him off, and then because where does that leave the next guy coming in, knowing that player power is going to fuck him off? I don't think it'll come to it. I hope it doesn't. No. But whether it's Kudus or anybody else at this stage, I would always stick with the manager. Just my opinion.
No, I tend to agree with that. I do hope that they would be able to sort it out. I think it's a bit of a... Well, it's two things. I think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup, really. This sort of shit happens all the time. And it can show a lot of things, players actually, wanting to go out and fix their wrongs and not being able to, which gives them the shits. I mean, remember last year when... was it Salah was going off his fucking nut on the sideline at Klopp just because he wanted to start and he was bringing him on as a sub. I think that's healthy for the relationship. Fucking go and show me what you can do, but follow my instructions. Like that's what he's there to do, is to he's there to be the conductor, and if people aren't doing things the way that he wants them to, well, he's got to step them up and go, well, that's what you're here to do.
I said to Dave on Monday, J-Lo has got a history of not giving a fuck and not caring what people think of him, who he pisses off.
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't mind that, because that will get the best out of some players. It shows a bit of passion. I think what happened in the dressing room probably happens in a lot of fucking dressing rooms. You know, you think back to some of the old fucking Brian Clough and Ferguson, and even some of the old fucking videos of Neil Warnock and that. You remember that?
Yeah.
Sutton, was it Sutton United cunt who went fucking mental and offered to fight all these players? It's fucking brilliant. Like that. That's what you want. And if you're a fucking wet blanket and you can't handle it, then you can fuck off somewhere else. But it's a bit of passion, and I don't mind it at all.
There's a certain, like, it can be difficult to manage though as well. Like, you know, like, as I think Kingy's talking about it a little bit further down here, I'll show it up. And this is Kudus. No, it's not that one. It's the other one. Kudus does, like, he is your creative player. Like, you don't want to stifle that, but if it's me, I'm looking at players like Kudus at the moment, just going, you know what you're doing is not working. So, you know, try and listen to people and, you know, put some of their ideas into play in terms of your creativity and see what happens.
Yeah.
But it is always a fine line to manage that kind of stuff with those types of players.
It is. Michael Blease has written here. Good to see you, Michael. Thanks for watching, mate. The Kudus thing has been blown up. It happens every week at all clubs. This smells of a rat that wants J-Lo out. Divide the fan base. It should never have been leaked. Yeah, I agree. I think it does happen a lot. You know, you've got to also think about where this shit's coming from, and until you hear anything from Kudus himself saying he's not happy and he wants out, you just sort of let it go, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, how many times did this happen last year, right? And we just didn't hear about it for and it might not be the same scenario, but fucking people losing their rag when we're going in at fucking halftime 4-0 down or whatever it was.
Damien said we make a lot more money from fucking off Kudus. Well, not the way he's probably worth about 8.6 million.
That's what I'd add though, right? If there is any kind of scrap between him and the manager, his value is going to go down the fucking toilet pretty quickly. He's probably one of our most valuable players, so it's not good for us as a club to have one of our top assets devalued in that way. But having said that, I totally agree with what you're saying. If he's not going with what the manager wants, he needs to put his socks up or fuck off, doesn't he?
He does. All right. There's a comment here from Paul Williams, good friend of the show. Good to see you, Paul. Play Kudus centrally as a false nine. What are your thoughts on that?
That's exactly what I was saying earlier. I tend to agree with it. He's strong. He holds the ball up. He's creative, and he's got the pace that can run in behind as well, right? So you think about what do we do with Antonio there? He's a fucking, like, for all of his good, he's still a donkey touch, right? So he does lack that, but he's still got the pace to run in behind. But I don't know. I think Kudus he's got creativity, but he's also got a great first touch, and he's fucking strong. So I'm surprised it hasn't been tried already, to be completely honest.
What do you reckon, Dave?
I'm not sure about false nine. I think playing at home against Ipswich, you want to be having a striker up there. I'd be looking at maybe starting Ings. Certainly would happily have Kudus in that 10 role. Is
this a fucking stupid suggestion, or would anyone ever consider playing two up front?
We can barely get one to stay up front at the moment.
You're fucking showing your age there, Matty.
It's fucking
mate. We don't have two strikers at the moment.
You could play fucking Ings and Kudus. So, Budgie is saying Kudus is playing with a huge disadvantage in as much as being played out of his strongest position. He's very rarely played in his strongest position for us. And I think that's probably one of the things that might come to an end at the weekend.
Has he ever?
I don't know if he has. Oh, he must
only starts on the right when Bowen plays centrally.
At certain points in games, he would have, but I don't think he would have started. Paul Williams has said drop Antonio to the bench. Yeah, agree with that.
I think some of the problem is when you look at it though, right? Like, can you name one of our front four? I'll say this and say Somerville aside, like name one of the front four that you actually think is adding value to the team at the moment. Like Bowen's out of form, Curtis is out of form, Paquetá's out of form, Antonio's fucking shit.
I said this to Dave on Monday. I said that, I really didn't mind the fact that we finished that game without Kudus, Bowen and Paquetá on the pitch because recently they've offered fuck all. And I include Bowen in that. And that's not to say he's played badly, but he's not got that threat. I would say, and there's a question here from Wazim that says, what do we do with our lineup, especially up front? I think that the forward positions, from what I've seen, and purely going on form, you've got to have Somerville on the left. That's fucking nailed on. I would even start there and work everything else out around that. Soler looked decent when he came on. Rodrigo, whatever his fucking name is, Rodriguez, would look shit. I'd drop him. I would stick with Souček. I think he's fucking earned it, despite what I've said in recent weeks. You can't drop Bowen or Kudus. So that means that I'd drop Paquetá. I'd have Somerville on the left. I'll have Soler, Bowen on the right, Kudus up front. That would be my pick for this weekend.
So, who's your middle?
Soler.
So Soler.
And then Alvarez and Souček.
Yeah. See, I tend to agree with that because I don't think Souček is as he's not as naturally centered as like Alvarez or Rodriguez to sit and hold. Like he wants to drift into the box and be that last player there. He's not necessarily that player that just sort of screens across the back. And I think we've sort of, if we're going to play that sort of higher press, more and trying to play more in our third than theirs, like we need more players up around the ball. And I think with two holding players, it's not working in that fashion. We've sort of got too many players sitting back and not enough players to commit to the press.
If I played Alvarez and Souček, I wouldn't be expecting Souček to hold. And there's two reasons for that. One, we're at home to Ipswich. Secondly, they've got Calvin Phillips in their midfield. I could go in fucking central midfield and sort Calvin Phillips out based on what he's fucking shown playing for us. So Alvarez can take him and his fucking mate and deal with him all day. So you'd almost be looking at Somerville left, Bowen right, Soler and Souček behind, and Kudus up front. To me, that based on form purely, not reputation or that would work.
Do you find the management of Somerville, especially after his last few games, is just, I don't know, it's probably as puzzling as fucking starting Antonio over Fulkrug in the first few weeks, in my opinion?
Hang on, everything froze for me then.
We're back.
What was the question, Dave?
Oh, I was just saying the management of Somerville is as puzzling as like Fulkrug / Antonio at the start of the season. Everyone was like watching Antonio put in like shit performance after shit performance and get a start, and now Somerville's just good performance, and he just can't seem to get into the team. When we talk about that front four, he's the only one to me that looks lively and working his socks off, beating defenders and creating opportunities for others.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know. And we said a couple of games back that maybe J-Lo was giving a chance to the old guard, the sort of established team members to cement the place. But I don't know. I've just gone through a team there or a front line there that is based purely on form from what I've seen. but that doesn't seem to be coming into J-Lo's thinking. So
well,
I'd be
here's
interested.
Another question for you: like, what do you think about Mavropanos' performance at fullback versus what our current fullbacks have been delivering?
I thought he was brilliant at right back.
Yeah. I agree with that. I know what you think, Dave.
It's a short stint, though, wasn't it? Like, there's been Mavropanos has had good halves in a lot of games.
I thought he actually improved the team with his second half performance. And as I said to you on Monday, Dave, I'm a lot more comfortable with him at right back than centre half, because if he makes a mistake there, it's not catastrophic.
It was interesting because he came out first, and like when he came out after we're looking at each other. I was turning to one of the other boys, going, "Oh, fuck off!" Is he just taking off Soler because he doesn't have the legs to go 90 minutes? He took off Emerson. So, okay, this will be interesting to watch. But my vote for man of the match, it went to Wan-Bissaka, because I thought he was really good. Like even I don't know if it makes a difference live to on telly, but he looked fucking fantastic. And then to be as versatile on the left and the right, I thought he is like, so far for me, out of all of the people that we signed this year, he's fucking massive tick. Like he's my number one. He's brilliant. He's good to watch, and he's fucking quick. He's fucking electrically quick.
I've got to say though, I didn't think he was that flash against Brentford, and he was absolute dog shit against Chelsea. But then a lot of players were dog shit against Chelsea. But that was the first time I saw him where I thought, ooh, it's a bit suspect.
Do you know what puzzled me on that Chelsea game was the amount of times that I forget his name now, Cucurella, right? He was dropping into the midfield to create a 4v3, and at live it looked like Kudus was his player, right? And Kudus is just hanging out wide, waiting for them to nick the ball and then leave him available. And it was sort of just like, there's moments there where you just thought, no, Kudus has got to go in there and just make it a 4v4 and then try and break away to hold him accountable. Because as soon as he didn't go in there, Cucurella was just hanging about and then creating the overload the whole time.
Yeah.
Either way, it was shit.
There's a few comments coming through, so but we'll touch on a few of them. I know.
We lost Matt again.
I was going to say, is it me or him? I'll read it out. So it's Wazim is saying I would go with Alvarez as a 6, Soler and Pac-Man in front, just as 2 8s with Jimmy on the left, Bowen on the right, and Kudus up and down the middle. Yeah, I can't say I disagree with that, but yeah, I don't know. Souček's been pretty good too. So, what are your thoughts? Or am I fucking flying solo here myself now?
I think Souček will definitely start on the weekend. There's a chance that Soler might start over Pac. I can't see him playing both of them in there, Soler and Pac-Man.
Yeah. What did you think of his performance against Brentford, Soler?
Which one? Oh, Soler. Yeah, it was a great ball for the goal, wasn't it? And the whole goal was well worked. The one thing that made it look not so great was Antonio's duck shot.
It's funny, isn't it? Because if it doesn't happen, the goal doesn't happen, right? But it did give you sort of a bit of a glimpse to think, is that what he's trying to create in that final third? It was just those short little passes to create the opening for people who can take a ball.
Souček's actually got that in his locker, those quick sort of two touches and kick playing people in. And he gets on the end of the ball and can tap it in. And
even if it does come off his fucking shin or whatever it was.
You know what? He's put everything into making sure that goes over the line. So he's done really well there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the point I was trying to make earlier is if you look at the build-up of the start of that goal, he's at the top of the box, and as the ball's moving around, he just constantly tries to drift to be that sort of man in space to create something, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought they had a really good half, to be honest. He was part of what changed the game. To be fair.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. It was just it was a little bit puzzling. Like my thinking was going towards, okay, so he's there to play when Paquetá comes off, but I guess the only thing I had in the back of my mind is just going, well, like, what does that say to Somerville? Because I don't think he's done anything wrong to be sitting there, unless it's just a managed minutes thing where he's just because he played for a long time in the Liverpool game. But
I'd be perfectly happy if Pac-Man started on the bench. To be honest, at the moment, he's not really doing it. I actually think it's hilarious to put pressure on Paquetá. We were far too reliant on him last season, and he does have big spells where he goes missing. So I'm happy for him to actually sit on the bench for this one to start. He's got a role in the game. He'll come on and he'll do a bit. From the starting line.
I was sort of thinking about him a fair bit over the last few days, and like you hear a lot of the comments. He's been shit, right? And then a lot of people saying, he went through all this sort of stuff last year. He's had it hanging over his head for the last 18 months. What's the difference? And the only thing I can really think about is, like, up until, just before the start of this season, he wasn't formally charged with anything, right? He was just being investigated. So maybe there is a fair bit more pressure on his shoulders now around what is to possibly come, because he's got to justify what actually may have happened, as opposed to, it just being an investigation. So, but look, either way, like, he's not putting it together on the field. So I tend to agree. He needs to, put a spell on the pine and work out where he can actually add value.
I'm more inclined to just put it down to the kind of player he is. I think he's all, if he didn't have spells where he wasn't on top form, he's probably playing for the likes of Real Madrid. But, he doesn't maintain that form. He doesn't make good decisions all the time. And therefore, he's not a top player in a top team.
Well, that's why he's at West Ham, really, isn't it?
Exactly right. That's my point entirely.
Yeah. I mean, you do say all that, and I think you boys touched on it on Monday. Like, he was the one who won the ball back, that then put the pass in, I think, was it to Soler before Bowen, for the goal. So, he does come up with moments of brilliance. There's just not enough people around him who are doing it as well, I guess, really. So, welcome back, Matty.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I think it's this laptop on StreamYard. It doesn't seem to fucking like it.
Hey, if you need a piss, you just got to say so. You don't need to fucking shut your computer down.
Hey, I've got an empty glass here. I'll piss in that. We'll go through a couple of these comments. Kingy's saying we've got a decent left winger. If he doesn't start, it's fucking criminal. I agree. I think it's definitely time for him to start. Michael Blees, midfield three of Soler, Alvarez, and Kudus. Rest Pac-Man, he's got a lot on his plate. Yeah, I don't know about. Oh, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, if you're going left, right, and centre. There's a comment here which I'll just bring up. Damien's had to leave. He said, "I'm out, boys. Got work. Have a good one." But then he's gone on to say that Davey's still the cutest cunt he's seen in his life. So there you go. Some proper bromance is brewing here.
Despite seeing his futsal, what is there? Is there something in that we don't know about, Dave?
I think futsal's a code word for something else.
Yeah, must be. Yeah,
something you can't repeat on YouTube. James, thanks for the comment, James. AWB is mustard, versatile and dynamic. Yeah, look, I've been impressed with him. There was a game, I can't remember where he wasn't great, but overall, he's been good. What else have we got here? James has said Paquetá looks too distracted. I tend to agree with Dave. I don't think it is that. I think it is just him. I think it's just the way that he is. And then Kingy's being a smart ass. Just don't turn up, Matt, if you really don't like the other lads. Leaving halfway through a stream is very rude. Yeah, but I came back, didn't I? I thought.
Is he saying follow his lead? Is that the hidden message there?
Oh, maybe.
Just hang on the sidelines and throw grenades.
Oh man, look, we're up to 45 minutes. I do need a piss because I didn't go and have one before. So look, thank you to everyone that has joined in and watched and for all the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Dave, Nate, predictions wise, what are you going with, Dave?
I'm going with 3-1.
Yeah, Nate.
Ipswich. one tractor to us, 3 to them, or
no, we're going to be.
What do you reckon, Nate? We're going to do it or what?
Yeah, I reckon we will. I think we will. I think it'll probably be. I reckon 3-2. Yeah. I reckon 3-2, and I reckon Somerville's due. He's going to score 1 or 2.
Yeah. Well, I've been thinking all day in my head. It's been 4-1, so that's what I'm going with. I think, and I think
you get good odds on that, mate.
I think it will be relatively tight for a long time. I think it'll be 1-1. I think we'll be 2-1 up with about 10 minutes to go, and I think we'll end up getting a couple of goals and having a really good day because we've not had fucking many of them. Even Palace, great win. It wasn't the most fucking entertaining or triumphant victory in the world, was it? So
no.
Yeah, a couple of people. Michael reckons 4-0. Kingy reckons 1-1 because he's not very optimistic. Paul says 2-0. James 2-1. So a lot of people predicting the win. But yeah, I think we'll do it. We'll do it. And then Monday's a public holiday here in Brisbane. So I don't know when we'll do the review show. It might be Sunday, it might be Monday. We'll work it out, and we'll certainly let you all know. But look, thank you all for joining. Good to see you all. Nath, good to have you back, mate. Glad you got back from
good to be back.
And yeah, we look forward to Saturday night and watching through fucking one eye, trying to stay awake on the couch after too many beers. That's the only way to watch West Ham, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Miss all the shit and wake up for the goal.
Absolutely. All right, lads. One thing left
Good
to
to
say.
see you, boys. Go on, you boys. All right.